I'm not drinking, but I'm starting off with a cheers. Uh, this is going to be a video response to one of my subs that frequents the chat, who we talk every day, man. You know, online. You see him in the posts. You see him in the comment section. And the context behind this video response is I made a video a few days ago on like a little mini celebration, I guess you could say, about the 10-year milestone of the channel. Nothing major, just figured I never do these sort of videos. Nothing that celebratory, so this time I figured let me do it. And the subscriber of mine, McMina99, made kind of like a celebratory video in response to what I had done. And this is going to be my reply to his reply. We're not going to talk politics in this one. We're going to be reminiscing. And I will put his video in the link. The link in the description, rather. So, where do I begin with this whole thing? Other than I appreciate the video. I was touched. I was amused, you know. You had me burst out laughing when you said that when you were getting trolled that you're not that much of a big YouTuber, so I don't know how this is happening, but I have no suspicions that Maiden is even behind any of the accounts. You're right, I'm not. But it is funny that you mentioned it. So I thought you just mentioned nonchalantly, so I'm laughing. And you know, there was that one page where you turned on and it said California on it, so bro, you know I'm gonna mention California just for the sake of it in this case, because I'm a bitch. I like to make fun of your bloody state. I know, there's more nuance to the state than just than what I'm presented. But California. Sorry, I had to I had to mention it. Dude, you knew I was gonna go there. You knew. I'm pretty sure when you flip the page onto that, it's like, oh, California. Ooh. You probably had in the back of your mind, oh, she might say something. Okay. So, we're gonna talk about Maiden in this video because I thought it would be a nice palate cleanser and I felt nostalgic because of your video. And as I stated before, I really do appreciate. I was touched. You you gave me moments of laughter, so I really appreciate it. And I didn't think that this channel kind of made you continue because of the tracks. I'm generally surprised. I didn't think I'd have that influence on you, but I'm glad that it does. I also hope that WordPress is not taunting you anymore after your little, I guess you could say, spell request. Maybe, I don't know. Video request. Let's just say that video request for for other hexing purposes. Yeah, muhaha. I digress. Alright, we're gonna start off with Maiden. Okay. I started listening to Maiden back in 2010. So it's been 13 years. Yeah, 13. 13 years of pure awesomeness. And that was the year when the final Frontier came out. And that was also the year that I saw Maiden for the first time. I've seen them at least 3 times in my life. And I do intend, hopefully, if the timing is right on things, to see Maiden for the final and last time on their retirement tour. Assuming that they're not gonna pull a Gene Simmons, like every year they have to mention, yeah, we're retiring, you know. Gene Simmons is a smart guy. He knows how to make the money, you know. He's a brisket head. He knows what's up, you know. He knows how to make people buy into the legacy. Not quite sure if anyone even bought the Kiss coffin, but I digress. So, started listening to them, and they were a band that as I got into metal, never really gave it a chance. So I remember talking to my uncle, who's a metalhead, who's a big Kiss fan. There's the same uncle, by the way, that red pilled me at a young age about the 1A, 2A. Got me exposed to debates because of Fox News and Bill O'Reilly and Glenn Beck. Smattering of other people, but now you see where Fox is these days. So I remember having a conversation with him about music, whatever, and he asked me if I listened to Iron Maiden yet, and I told him no. I think they're posers. They're not metal, and he kind of put me on blast and said, "Well, you're not a real metalhead if you don't listen to them." So I think he kind of said that half jokingly. Not quite sure, but you know, I had my ego bruised that time, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna show you I'm a real fucking metalhead. Like I was talking about Nightwish, a band that is in, I think, at least in North America, that is underrated. You know, if we, in my experience, I find European metal bands are, well, the exception of Maiden, but even Cradle of Filth, to some degree, they're underrated. But anyways, some bands that are from France, Italy, Greece, Botswana, Africa, Mongolia, Brazil, just to name a few places, are underrated, not very well known. So I was telling him about this band Nightwish. They've been around since 1996. A band that's from Finland, I believe. And that's when the conversation started, and he brought up Maiden. And, I had my ego bruised. And then I started listening to Maiden. I gave him a chance. And my mind was blown. All I had to listen to was Power Slave. I think it was Be Quick or Be Dead. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Afraid to Shoot Strangers. Number of the Beast. My mind was blown. I mean, my mind was blown with listening to Nightwish. The Wish I Had an Angel, that one. That was the song that got me into it. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? So I started listening to Maiden, and ever since then, they've been like just like, when you become obsessed with something and you're like going through a phase where that's like you were just grabbing onto anything and everything that is like related to that obsession that you had. Well, that was me for a few years with Maiden. Not as much now, but they're still my number one band. And I was just, inspired by the band, specifically Bruce. For those that don't know, Bruce is, I think he still is, a pilot, flown Ed Force One. And if you guys are aware of this documentary, Flight 666, how do you think they were traveling to all these fucking countries, and the final destination when they made history, a little bit unofficially, you could say, but they went to India for the first time. Like, isn't that fucking brutal? So he's a pilot. he also was diagnosed with throat cancer. Now he's pretty much, I guess, after 5 years of, what is it, chemo? Not quite sure. Rehab. You're like considered in the clear after 5. So he went through that. And Book of Souls, he was singing with throat cancer. Like, dude, you're a god. So there's that. And then when he went solo, he was flying solo for 6 years between 93 until 99. And, and by the way, dude, when you went to see Maiden in 91, that was before Fear of the Dark. Fear of the Dark came out in 93, I believe. So I see this multifaceted, multi-talented dude. And he's on like the inspirational list. You have him, you have Styx, shocker, right? And Eric July, who opened up his own comic book company. You guys will probably know him as the dude who was doing a whole bunch of commentary during the pandemic, and I mirrored some of his videos because I agree with him on most fronts. I don't consider myself an anarchist, but I understand the ideals of it. Anyways, so Maiden was just a good thing in my life for a while, right? And I was like really obsessed. I got my tattoo of Iron Maiden, It was just the band name itself. And let me tell you, in my early 20s, I got that. It's been a long ass time now. I might have to redo it. But I got it. I got it in like the tramp stamp area. So you could only imagine how getting tattooed around your ass with a needle in that very sensitive area was not very pleasant, let alone sitting in a very uncomfortable position. And I went numb at one point, like, oh crap, I can't feel my legs. Oops. So that was a very fucking interesting. Weird things tend to happen when you're a tattoo artist, so I've heard. So yeah, I remember when I got the tattoo, you have to leave the bandage on for like a few hours, I believe, and then you wash it off because I think I left mine on for like 6 hours just to make sure like my skin was absorbing the ink. And when I would wash all the plasma and all the blood off, it would be like lukewarm water, and then from there you have to put a bit of like thin layer of polysporin, and now your healing starts. So, in other words, you had to make it breathe, and that was like, shown. I had to make it breathe. So you could only imagine. You could only imagine like the reaction, and it was always with guys, always with, oh, you like Maiden? It wasn't just with that; it was also with the band shirts, you know. And that would always be a conversation starter, right? It was a lot of fucking fun to see people's reaction. It was something, and by the way, I don't know if you guys are like this. Whenever you see like another metalhead and they're wearing a band shirt, because you don't see them very often, it's like, oh, there you are, man, nice. Like you get like a sneak peek. You're very curious of what like album cover they're wearing. And if there's one thing I can't stand with band shirts, it's not only they fucking expensive, but I can't stand when it's only like one side. I like the double sided, but you can only get the double sided only at the concerts, so it's really fucking annoying. Anyways, so you got that, and the other reaction that I thought was so funny was, yeah, but you're a chick. Yeah, isn't that weird? Women that are like girls, women that like metal. What? Female fronted bands, or a lead singer's a woman? That's not possible. Yeah, because women have to fit into like this very mediocre uh, standard box of, no, you have to be feminine and that's all you're good for. Like, okay, whatever, dude. Tomboys. What's that again? So that was like just kind of funny. So you know, good times, good times. So there was that. Um, just conversation starters, good bondings. But I did have an unpopular opinion about Maiden, and I remember making a video, and that video, I had my shaved head, and I look back at it, I'm like, I was stupid. I was really fucking stupid. And I was saying that I think Maiden should retire at some point, and now I look back, it's, nah, they shouldn't retire. Why should they retire? Why should they? They're doing well, I guess. I think there is going to be at some point where they are going to like stop. I am anticipating that. But you know, it's doing well for you. It's a legacy. But they are old. They're eventually going to stop, which I do see. It's going to be bittersweet, but I want to be in on the legend and the legacy rather. To say like, hey, I was actually there, and that's on my bucket list. And I just want to see them continue going. So like, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Have some fun, And I've seen enough videos live, depending on what songs you listen to. I think some of the songs that they've sung that I've actually personally enjoyed have been better sung live than the studio. Because when you're sung live, it's like there's more connection, there's more magic involved, right? Not to get really esoteric, but it feels like a bit of a fucking ritual when I was at the concerts. And, I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have. And so when I was driving home, I had like, tears of joy. Like, I don't know why it just came out. It was very fun, Music has that effect on me sometimes, especially like the emotion behind it. And I forgot to mention this. Another reason why Maiden's so fucking great is not just, actually, I'll bring this up at another point, but getting back to the songs for a second. Getting back to the songs. Some of the songs are better live than they are in studio. And I mentioned one of the documentaries. If you guys want to get a little bit more just for the fun of it, if you want to watch something interesting, I would suggest you guys watch Flight 666, Metal, The Headbanger's Journey, and Metal Evolution. Kind of goes down through, it's pretty self-explanatory, but like the story, the influences behind metal, and how they've broken off. But really it doesn't matter because it's music at the end of the night. It's a relatable thing for some people, and they have their reasons why they relate to it on such a profound level. But here's the thing when it comes to Maiden. Maiden have created an interesting legacy that is, I'm not saying they have to be like Metallica successful, but they've created their own legacy that is not Metallica. But without Maiden, there's no Metallica. It was because of punks and the new wave of British heavy metal that inspired Metallica, that I'm aware of. And then you get the over distortion of, because of thrash, right? That's how thrash became its own thing. So what I like about Maiden's legacy is, even though they're commercially successful, I would argue not as compared to Metallica, what attracts them is the theatrics, I would say. It's not only the music, it's the nostalgia, it's legends. Metallica has that too. But they don't got the theatrics like Maiden does. And I would say the next on the list that might kick Iron Maiden's ass would have to be Sabaton. And Sabaton is one of those bands that are from Europe that are underrated. Been around since 1999, from Sweden, sing about military history. Wouldn't be surprised in today's context if they would be called Nazis, which I think at some point they were called that. And it's like, we're talking about military history, bro. We don't support the these assholes. We don't support that. It's that damn brutals, but we are brutals, but not that brutals, let's just say. So that's why I think Maiden sells compared to Metallica. And one of the awesome aspects compared to Metallica is, as you guys could see, they have Trooper beer. I'm not a fan of ale, but I have the bottle just to say that I bought it. I don't know. It's probably going to be part of the oddities collection, just for the sake of it. I don't know. We'll see. They had Legacy of the Beast, I believe. They had like a mobile game, and I played it for a while, and it was such a fucking bitch to play, so I said I gave up on it. So there's that, and what else can I say about Maiden? I will say this. I just remembered something something you said in the video that I could add a bit to it. You know, when you went to your first Maiden concert and you had Mexicans, I believe, you use a word that I'd never heard of, like Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever, right? From the lot of videos that I've watched, there's a little bit of a formula that they do, like, oh, scream for me, Portland, or scream for me, Montreal, type of thing, right? So you have Bruce that does that. He's running around. Hopefully he's not gonna like trip and fall. He'll engage with the audience. You have Adrian, who's just doing his own thing, kind of being not nowadays, but he used to be like a fucking fashionista. Yannick is in the corner, just, chilling and killing. Dave, same thing. Nico being the happiest drummer I've ever seen with it behind the drum set. Then you have Stevie, who I would say, like, he does that thing with the guitar. I would call it shooting the guitar. Like, he points the guitar out a way where it's like he's about to, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the position. It looks like he's shooting a gun, but it's like it's his guitar instead, his bass. So everybody has their own thing, which just makes it fun. And so I've noticed the typical things that they do. Hell, even Sabaton is the same thing. But if there's one thing that I've noticed with the fan base, and this is really true, when you watch Flight 666 and you see the reaction of the fans, they're very passionate. That's one thing you cannot take away from Maiden fans. They are very passionate people. That 100%, hands down, held to the yeah on that one. But if you look where they've gone, especially out in South America, I've never seen like a crowd of people being super fucking thrilled and happy that legends are in front of you. And this is like, heaven all of a sudden. Like, the passion is there. You hear it in the cheers. You hear it when they sing together. It's just fucking awesome. Not that you can't get it anywhere else. I mean, here in Quebec, you've definitely heard it. If you guys have ever come to any concerts out here, I'm specifically talking metal concerts out here in Montreal, there is a chant that they will always say, and I think you guys know what it is. Allez, 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 allez. I don't know why they say that, but whatever. They always do. They always do. I think even at hockey games they do that too. They sing that all the fucking time. The Ole chant. They're passionate here too. With them, with Metallica, especially out in Quebec City, Christ on a stick. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. That's something you can't take away from Maiden fans. That's for sure. And the bottom line is, like, will there be another Iron Maiden? Let's just stick to what we got so far, because we're going to, in due time. But I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think so. I think Sabaton is going to be creeping in on Maiden's reign, let's just say. But there's never going to be another Iron Maiden. This is like one in the billion chance that, like, gods in front of me are ever going to fucking exist. And I think that's basically it. But, dude, cheers. Thank you for the video, and I appreciate it. Peace out.